stand clear of the doors.
Let's talk about the area of the Vaughan Metropolitan Centre.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Vaughan Metropolitan Centre is supposed to be the city center, the epicenter of Vaughan, city of Vaughan. The city of Vaughan has been going through this evolution of change with employment, infrastructure, and residential growth. So Menkes Developments actually has taken a big role and big ambition in that neighborhood. Vaughan sits very strategically in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area. It sits right in the middle of the 905, the surrounding neighborhoods that everybody essentially would have to link to if they want to be part of that mobility hub. With the new subway extension that's taken us, 20 or 30 years?
And it's finally there. It's not that we're talking about it anymore.
Right.
I'm so excited, right? Because we needed this subway to go into Vaughan.
Right.
And now it's there. It's in use, been in use for a little over a year now.
Absolutely, right.
And now commuters can get right from Vaughan at the top of, it's just right outside of the 416 into the 905 area. But they can get into downtown Toronto within about 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said, though. You said from Vaughan, you can get to downtown Toronto. But what I want to tell you is you can get from downtown Toronto to Vaughan.
I like that. And why do you say that?
Because Vaughan right now is offering tax subsidies to massive commercial developers and employers. You see KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, Miller Thomson, law firms, accounting firms, and more. They're all shifting from various other parts of the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, to Vaughan. Vaughan's effectively offering a 1.65% property tax. Downtown Toronto is 2.4%. So if your building is, let's say, a commercial building operating at $350 to $500 million, you're effectively saving anything between $2 to $5 million based on the tax subsidy. So it makes a lot of sense to, that's why I was talking about the emerging market.
Right.
All employers are going to start shifting to Vaughan now in the GTA.
That's important from an investor's perspective because
Absolutely.
that's where the tenants are going to come in. When you purchase a condo, you know that you're going to have tenants that are going to be working in the area.
Absolutely.
And especially that younger generation, right? 25 to about 35.
Absolutely.
They want to be very, very close to where they want to live and work in the same area.
Vaughan has been going through a drought period in residential real estate. And now if you look at a lot of the larger developers that are starting to gravitate towards that market, obviously they're business people. They want to bring the supply to that area. And the demand's just pent up and sitting there. If you recall, a couple of years back in 2017, I sold a project in Vaughan that was the best-selling project in GTA's history.
Yes.
I sold 1,700 condo units with the support of you guys, with REC.
And how fast
that sold in 6 weeks, we set the record in GTA.
Yes.
So the Vaughan Metropolitan Centre, you asked me.
Yes.
Is the intersection of Jane and Highway 7. So if anybody's looking at Google Maps, if you just put a pin at Jane and Highway 7, if you look at the four corners of that intersection, wherever there's massive land is effectively part of it. It's 442 acres of land. Right? We are in the southwest corner of that quadrant.
Okay.
We effectively have about 65% of that Vaughan Metropolitan Centre.
Why is it so important to be so close to transit? Like, what have we seen with values from an appreciation perspective, as well as just the rentability
Absolutely.
of your investment?
The subway extension is there. And effectively, since last year, the riderships increased by 60%.
Wow.
That's a huge number.
For sure.
Right? And that's really helped us. But you also have to remember that the Greater Toronto Area really focuses on education in the sense that they look at York University as one of the top universities in Canada. It has Schulich School of Business, right? And it has Osgoode Hall Law, one of the top law schools in the country, if not the number one for corporate law, and a huge political science discipline there as well. So the university itself has 2 subway stations. It's crazy, right? There's 60,000 students, 7,000 faculty members.
Right.
They all live within the area of the university. Mobilio is actually about 1 stop away now, effectively, or as you could say, about maybe 2 to 5 minute subway ride away from it. So if you know you're on a subway line, you will always win. You will never ever lose. Like, it's just
from an investment perspective. Yeah.
Any perspective. You get your hands on real estate next to a subway station, you are a winner. You can't lose.
Yes.
I think in 10 years, you will not be able to buy real estate next to a subway node.
Why do you say that?
There won't be any space left.
Just won't be any land.
No, you gotta, there's a sprawl. We have the effective
Greenbelt legislation.
Greenbelt, thank you. Greenbelt legislation that's really pushing the intensification to the core areas. But if you look at it, Vaughan is now part of the core area because
Yes.
the subway is linked to it now. Now Vaughan becomes a core neighborhood.
The neighborhoods around
Right.
in that area are very affluent. You see multi-million-dollar homes.
Average household is about $1 million in terms of resale trading value.
Right.
And the product that we're bringing in is to give value of livability and double occupancy product in most cases, but is sitting almost half the price of that. And Vaughan, if you look at current marketplace, Vaughan is half the price of downtown Toronto.
Yes.
Mark my words, come next year, you'll be up at least 5 to 10% in cost in pricing.
In terms of
Just
appreciation.
natural appreciation.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It's why this project excited REC so much. Obviously, the success we had with our members at the project we did a couple of years ago. Phenomenal success there. They've seen a huge increase.
Right.
Now, moving forward, we still have 120,000 people coming into the Greater Toronto area year over year for the next 10 years. We're looking at, with net migration, and you know this, Shab, we're going to be looking at close to 1.4, 1.5 million people.
Absolutely.
And no longer can they buy like a starter home as a first-time home buyer, or a tenant cannot buy and or rent a single-family home. It's just it's too expensive. So what do they want to do? They're okay with 500 square foot condos that they essentially use as hotel rooms, right? Because they work a lot and they also play.
Absolutely.
And so it's nice from an investor's perspective because we're always going to have that steady flow of tenants coming in.